Copyright disclaimer. Under Title 17 U.S.C. Section 107, allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Fair use is permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing nonprofit, educational, or personal use. Tips a balance in favor of fair use. Did Scientologists try to infiltrate Neopets? Not a sentence I thought I'd ever say. By Annabelle Wagner, dated October 8th, 2021. If you grew up in the early to mid-2000s, then you're probably familiar with the virtual pet website Neopets. Launched in 1999 by University of Nottingham student Adam Powell, along with his friend Donna Williams. The site was originally designed to keep university students entertained. It didn't take long for the site to expand beyond the walls of the campus. However, and by Christmas of that year, Neopets.com had exploded in popularity. I myself was a proud owner of a light blue poodle, spending every day after school glued to the computer, taking care of my virtual pet, dressing him up and decorating his home, playing games to win Neopoints, and exploring the world of Neopia until my parents dragged me away at bedtime. Mind you, this is to program children to be addicted to the computer. It was actually in a fit of nostalgia that I started doing some research on Neopets, and that's how I came across this absolutely wild story. That is, for approximately 5 years, Neopets was run by Scientologist employees, all the way up to the CEO. Surprise, surprise. Shortly after the site started to gain some renown, well-known Scientologist entrepreneur Doug Doering, along with several other investors, bought a majority share in the company. In February 2000, he officially founded Neopets Incorporated, beginning business operations in April. Though Doering did not introduce Scientologist beliefs to the website, he did utilize L. Ron Hubbard's founder of Scientology trademark business model, Org Board. Not much is known about Org Board. The Church of Scientology is notoriously protective of their practices and is quick to sue anyone who portrays them in a negative light. Gulp. Here's what Scientology is willing to let the world know about Org Board. It's 80 trillion years old and consists of 7 divisions. The divisions are communications, dissemination, it sounds like mind control, doesn't it? Sales, marketing, treasury, production, qualifications, quality control, public relations, and executive. When you take out the 80 trillion years thing, these divisions seem pretty standard for business practices. However, Patricia Illingworth, a professor at Northeastern University and a senior fellow at the Kennedy School of Government's Carr Center for Human Rights at Harvard, says that when you look below the model surface, it's actually pretty unethical. Under Org Board, employees are encouraged to spy on one another. That's the snitch culture. Sharing everything they learn, tattling with their superiors, like security checks and what's the other, knowledge reports. If they hear something they don't like, perhaps something critical of the company's business practices, they exercise a very warped sense of justice. Illingworth explains, if someone in or outside the organization has done something that undercuts the mission of the organization, which is basically making money, then the organization, in the name of ethics, there we go with the ethics again, the most non-ethical fake religion, always talking about ethics, is advised to retaliate against the person in order to ensure that they don't do it. So you can't question it. You can't have an original thought. Yeah, the scorched earth approach does seem a bit dramatic. Isn't that the same thing that's going on with that unhinged, creepy Stephanie Hutchinson or whatever, who used to be on the aftermath board? It sounds exactly alike, doesn't it? But what do I know? Approach does seem a bit dramatic for a website aimed toward children. Toward children. There we go with getting at the children again. Other companies that have utilized these rather brutal business tactics are Mr. Jim's Pizza, good to look into those things, MGE Incorporated, and Mission Renaissance. Over the 5 years that Doring served as CEO, he hired many fellow Scientologists to work for the company. I'd love to know what whomever's working at that company, I'd like to know their histories. Whatever is public knowledge. Including one unnamed woman who wanted to introduce Scientologist beliefs into the world of Neopia. Powell and Williams, who were unaware of their CEO's beliefs until 6 months after he had taken over, quickly put a stop to this. Good. With Williams saying in a Reddit AMA, of course it's on Reddit, right? It's the only thing they seem to be able to access, that she and Powell fought that as hard as we could, and they got rid of her. Good. Welcome to the world. After that, the two co-creators fought hard to ensure that no Scientologist ideals would be presented to their young audience. Good. Through their website. Can you imagine how sick that could have gotten? With Powell explaining, Adam Powell and I made sure that Scientology, never made its way onto anything site-related. Religion and politics were two big no-nos for us as far as site content went. In 2005, Doring told Neopets Incorporated to Viacom, the conglomerate that owns Nickelodeon, and we know what happened there, for $160 million. He stepped down as CEO soon thereafter, going on to found Age of Learning Incorporated, the company that owns the popular education site abcmouse.com. Oh, that reminds me of Disney, that they called it a mouse. Powell and Williams, the original creators of the site, also left in 2005 due to creative differences. Neopets.com still exists today, logging about 100,000 users in June 2020, showing it had definitely declined in popularity since hitting its peak in 2005. Since Doring stepped down, the org board model was abandoned and our children remain indoctrination-free. Good. Next week, Webkin's bizarre connection to Heaven's Gate. Just kidding, probably. I found that really interesting. I'm glad they put a stop to that. So I will put the link in the description box. Like and subscribe if you choose. Have an amazing day or night wherever you are. Peace.